you believe in our school? Yes. What is this school? What's the name of this school? TJ. TJ. My name is Asra Nomani. My son is a senior at Thomas Jefferson High School for Science and Technology. I could be far from here, but the reason why I stand here is because we have to stand to bring back this school to life. This school was born in 1985. It was born as a science and technology high school. 35 years it took for this school to build its reputation as the #1 high school in America. Are you proud of our TJ? Yes! Have the students of TJ worked hard? Yes! Have the teachers worked hard? Yes! Have the families worked hard? Yes! And do we believe in hard work? Yes! But what has happened? On October 6, 2020, in 12 minutes and 11 seconds, 12 members of the Fairfax County School Board voted to eliminate the only race-blind, merit-based measurement that we have for students to enter TJ. In 12 minutes and 11 seconds, they took out the STEM in a STEM school. Is that okay? No! Is that fair? No! Is it good for America's future? No! It's a disaster for America's future. And they claim that they are doing this to increase diversity. Are we diverse? Yes! We come from 31 countries. 31. Just imagine, our families come from 31 countries. But in 12 minutes and 11 seconds, the Fairfax County School Board, following the direction of the Fairfax County Superintendent Scott Braybrand, along with the support of the Thomas Jefferson High School for Science and Technology principal, Ann Bonatadibus, decided they were going to eliminate the test. They were going to eliminate the merit that is a part of the merit-based admission. Is that okay by you? No! Are we going to fight for TJ's life? Yes! We have to fight for TJ's life because TJ is a symbol of the best in America. It's a symbol of the American dream. My family came here from India. My family came and we struggled. We worked so hard in poverty, in hard life, and in struggle. How many of you have struggled? Have you struggled in this country? Yes. Do you believe in the value of struggle? Yes. Do you believe in the value of hard work? Yes. And do you think that life should just be a lottery? No. It should not be left to chance. You worked, each one of you, I look at your faces and I know that behind your faces is such remarkable stories. I don't even know each one of you individually, but I know that there has been struggle, there has been suffering, and what they claim to do is they claim that they are going to increase the number of Black and Hispanic students, which we all want to do. Do we want to increase the number of Black and Hispanic students at TJ? Yes! Yes, we do. Do we want to help those who have been disadvantaged in life? Yes! Right? We care so much. I mean, the hearts of the people here, it makes me want to just cry sometimes because I know how hard every single one of you has worked and how much you feel. I know how much you feel. And what is actually going to happen? They are simply going to increase the number of white students at TJ. Is that what the intention of the plan was supposed to be? No! It was not. So what they have done is they have tricked this community. They have tricked our constituents, and what we are the smart ones, we are the clear-eyed ones, and we are the ones working with heart. And so look at the messages on our signs. Audit FCPS. FCPS has basically run this through a system of political corruption. What does the other sign say? Fire Braybrand. How many people here believe that Scott Braybrand has to go?
Yes!
Has he failed the students and families of Fairfax County?
Yes!
Miserably. Miserably. So many ways. We're going to talk about those ways, and we're going to talk and celebrate our school that we love, because we're here because we want to bring the school back to life. We are not creating some wall around TJ like Scott Braybrand claims. He uses the analogy of fighting communism, and he says, tear down that wall. What did we all do? We came through legitimate means, right?
Yeah.
Did we dope our kids to come to TJ?
No.
Did we do anything illegal?
No.
Did we do this nonsense pay to play?
No.
You know, he insults us. He says such awful things about us. The school board just looks and listens. The school principal continues this fallacy that we have spent $10,000 to $15,000. Did you spend $10,000 to $15,000 for your child to come to TJ?
No.
No, we did not. But it's a lie. It's a lie. And this is the thing. Do we believe in truth?
Yes.
We believe in truth. Do we believe in fairness?
Yes.
And so we are standing up for justice. We come from cultures. Many of us come from cultures where we don't challenge authority, right?
Yeah.
We respect teachers, right?
Yeah.
We respect school principals, right? We respect school superintendents. But when they do wrong, do we stay silent?
No.
No. We do not accept political corruption. Do we accept political corruption?
No.
This is, and I've been a journalist. I've been a journalist for 30 years in America. I've covered politics in the White House, in Congress. I followed money and politics, and I have never been witness to such political corruption. I just can't even believe the way that the money is spent, the way decisions are made, the way that parliamentary procedures are abused in order to get their way. And we are the people that are America. Look at our American flags. Look at our beautiful children. We are the people. And so please, remain unapologetic in your values. Believe in this school. 35 years old, and we will support it, and we will keep it alive for generations to come. Are we going to stand strong for our school?
Yes.
Yes. Are we going to fight for our school?
Yes.
Are we going to fight for our children?
Yes.
Yes. So thank you all so much. Thank you for taking the time when you could look the other way, for focusing on what is important. I am so honored to be here among all of you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Norma. Hello, everybody. I am. My son made it to the class of 2024. He is Hispanic. He was born in Peru. He made it to the big door. He took a test. He prepared himself. He worked hard. We didn't spend $15,000. That's a fallacy, and it's being used against us. It's being used in order to support a flawed technical agenda of Brabant, superintendent of Fairfax County Public School. I had to listen to the last Parent-Teacher Association meeting, and I listened to the principal of TJ, Mr. Bonita Tyrus. And she referred to what Mr. Brabant is doing to this school as a bite of an apple. He's just going to take a bite of an apple and try to enforce some kind of racial demographic change. That is totally unacceptable. And Bonatairos, the principal, didn't provide any reason whatsoever, any data to support any of the measures that they are undertaking. That is unacceptable. And the most egregious thing is that they are using Hispanics as a token, because they were not consulted. Today in the Washington Post, a courageous kid from a high school in California say, don't remove the SAT. The SAT helped me. The SAT is the only way, and it's the same to my son, it's the only way, the objective way to prove that we belong. There is no other ways. And now they're talking about holistic approach.
They're introducing concepts such as exotic concepts such as a global citizen. How are we going to measure that? My son is here because of a test. Otherwise, not even his white counselor will support him. So I'm here in order to support meritocracy, and I am against lottery. I am against all of this agenda that, from my point of view, is corrupt. Thank you.
We've got Julia.
My name is Julia, and I have, in the U.S., I have friends of all races, and my husband is a software engineer, and in his company, he has people from all over the country, all over the world. I think this is the beauty of the United States, and the people come here from all over the world for the freedom, for their American dreams, and this is, we are one of the millions of the middle-class families in the U.S. And I think immigrants are the core value for the United States. And I grew up in China, and in our Chinese culture, we don't believe free handout stuff. And we know from the very beginning that we work hard for what we want for our lives. And then for us, we are middle-class families. We don't have a lot of money, especially in the Northern Virginia. This is the most expensive place in the nation. So we have to prioritize our income. When our friends spend money for the expensive vacations, we don't have those. When they spend money for the expensive cars, we don't have them. We don't have those. We put our kids' education the first in our list. And I cannot imagine the day comes that we are punished for spend money for our kids' education, and we need to fight for that. Not just for our kids, that's for their future, for this country, for everything. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Vivian. I have a son who is currently 8th grader. He had been dreaming to go to TJ a few years ago. While I was even talking to him in the car, said I can, you have other choices. But he said, I will be happier in TJ because he has the passion for STEM, and his teacher identified him that he really, likes TJ, and he has friends who are sharing the same interest. And now we have the fortune to live in a era where we have so many science and technology innovations. And we admire the scientists for their work and their vision. TJ as a school was founded to nurture them to change the world. TJ has educated countless scientists and mathematicians, engineers, doctors, researchers who have made the world a better place. Just yesterday, one of our TJ alumni, Lisa Zhang, was highlighted in Forbes for her achievement in cellular research in virus the prevention. How proud we are. How proud the TJ teachers and students. They are fulfilling the mission of educating scientists by its rigorous programs ensured by merit-based selection system. However, for 8th grader, their dreams have been crushed too suddenly. The superintendent with school board members threw out a lazy proposal to put students' future in the hands of luck to achieve their political gain. If they cared about the students of all races, they would not make them feel they are merely numbers instead of individuals with their own characteristics. If they have done due diligence, they would run data and evaluation to reach out to the community for the best approach. If they were the true education policymakers, they would not spread the rumor of the exorbitant preparing fee to humiliate Asian students. If they care about equity, they would not demonize one race and change the rules for other races. If they want to know students better, they would ask teachers' opinions. Instead, they insulted teachers' integrity by saying they are biased. Who are more biased? If they truly wanted to identify top STEM kids,
They should have known many scientists may not have the traits they listed in the student's portrait sheet. Those scientists may be introverted, low-key, humble, but they are the ones who stay in the lab for days to come up with a COVID vaccine. Those scientists don't shine in the FCPS list. Let's get this right. We welcome diversity more than anything. We also value a merit-based system as our core value. We just feel so sad that some of the school board are being irresponsible. Please don't rush with anything that is not mature or evaluated. Thank you.
Should we have a student now, Spencer? Want to speak? Okay, Ishan, come on, let's have a student.
Good afternoon. I just want to thank you all for coming out here today. Okay, I'm a sophomore here at TJ. TJ is a very diverse school with over 80% of the student body with minority representation. But the most important diversity is intellectual diversity, which TJ has a great deal of. I'm firmly opposed to this lottery proposal, and I ask the politicians to keep their sleazy, grubby hands off of TJ and keep TJ the #1 high school in the United States. Thank you. I just want to add one more thing. MLK once said that he dreamed that we would be judged not by the color of our skin, but by the content of our character. Thank you.
All right, Yuyan. Hi, my name is Yuyan Zhou, and one of the representatives of this proud TJ community, and so happy to be here to see so many different faces and people from every single race possible. And I also want to let the media know there are also people from other counties, Howard County, Montgomery County, and they are representing the Chinese American Parents Association. They are here to support us. Give them a hand. In this rally here, I want to, just let all the medias know and also remind the public to remember the glory of TJ. This school is the #1 in the nation, ranking the #1 in the nation, and it was looked up by so many across the country, and it was dazzled with achievements in almost every single category. How many of you know that a high school can launch rockets into the space? And here I have the medal. And how many do you know their chess team has consecutively won the state's #1 championship for the past 19-some years? And how many of you know almost TJ students dominated in every single category in Olympic competitions, the Science Olympiads, and the merit scholarships in almost every category that we can name. This is the #1 high school in the nation that no other team, no other school can take us any less. This is the place where students are so passionate about education, are so passionate about achievement, so passionate about merit. And, I feel like this TJ, when people talking about it is challenge, it is difficult, we all know about that. But yet this is also a place where it provides our students, this very unique opportunities to take the pre-college courses and also give them the opportunities, research or whatever, the competition opportunities where they can't find in other place. And for many of the students, sometimes, they were somewhat look nerdy in many ways, and they could easily get bullied and looked down in other basic schools. But here, they find the students alike, and they find a place they call home. And I want to remind everyone
one, please, when we set up TJ as a STEM high school, we are trying to raise this special category of students who can become the future pioneers, who can become the future powers in leading the STEM field. We don't want anybody who just simply a 3.5. We don't want anybody just simply come in by lottery. This has to be a place who has the keen passion and brave heart for STEM. And they are here to compete, and they are here to win, and they are here to be successful, and they are here to achieve. And that's the TJ spirit. And I want everybody to help us preserve that spirit and keep TJ alive. Thank you.
Hi, my name's Jeff, and I've been blessed. My two children have been blessed to graduate from TJ. And I want to frame the issue as I see it. The TJ test is dead, and in part it's because of this virus. In all fairness, they were afraid to administer the test because of increasing infection rate due to the virus. So the issue, as I see it, is whether or not TJ adopts a holistic view of applicants, which is how UVA, William & Mary, and Tech view college applicants, and it's within the bounds of law, including race and economic disadvantage as factors, not controlling factors necessarily, but as factors, versus a lottery. And it's clear that a holistic view is a preferred way to go because it will help maintain the quality of student entering TJ. I fear that a lottery approach, TJ is a very rigorous process as it is, with 500 incoming students coming in, 420 graduating, and maybe 30 coming in during sophomore and junior years, which is a turnover rate of about 16% during the course of the 4 years. A lottery would probably double that turnover rate to 30%, and they anticipate that by increasing the admissions number significantly, to be up beyond 500. So, a holistic approach is much preferred to a lottery approach, and I think that's the first battleground issue currently before the board. The second issue before the board is whether or not to consider the holistic approach across the entire TJ applicant pool versus region or high school. And again, I believe that across the whole pool is going to attract the best qualified candidates to TJ versus by region or high school, which you have more of a risk of diminished capability across the accepted students. The last thing I would have to say is the board and the superintendent are not bad people. No, they're not. They just see things differently. They devoted themselves to public service, probably at very little pay, and they just see things differently. But I think if presented the issues this way, I think many of the board members are open to a holistic approach to admissions across the whole pool, and I think at this point that's what should be argued for. Thank you.
Yes.
All right.
Hello everyone.
Hello.
Thanks for coming here today to express our opposition to the changes here. Okay, so 1 month back, I was living a happy life, spending time with my work, with my kids, and suddenly I heard about this proposal that said we need representation of demographics in TJ. You know, that representation demographics, that's very close to my heart. I've been trying to get that for 4 to 5 years at FCPS, because whenever I go to FCPS, the staff, the faculty, and the county government, everywhere, I don't see the same representation. So it's close to my heart, right? So when I heard about it, I wanted to figure out, okay, what is it that they're changing? You want to change diversity, you want to improve diversity in the best high school in FCPS? They had a report that they need to fill about it. The report asked for diversity at TJ, not for student population alone. Did they do anything about the staff the faculty diversity issue at TJ? No, they don't want to. Why? Because to address that issue would be a sudden change that would impact the careers of many FCPS employees who are hardworking. Then the same applies to the Asian populations and the minority and the hardworking merit-oriented students. You are throwing them under the bus for your political gains. That is not something that we're going to let it happen. So in 1 month, you have seen this group came together. We successfully wrote to board members and put a pause to their effort. We still have a long way to go. They delayed it by a month, but we cannot let this go on like this. Every one of us here talk to every parent, every family, friends and everyone, and write to your school board members so that they don't implement these drastic changes. We hear so much about all the issues that students in the past faced at TJ. What has the incoming freshman class do with it? You have to address those issues from an FCPS administrative point of view. You don't address that. For 20 years, you haven't addressed any equity diversity issues. Suddenly you bring up with this plan that only is against Asian Americans and hardworking students. Please talk to everyone, donate to our cause, and help us fight this issue. To all the board members that have a responsibility to your voters, listen to your constituents. We don't want these changes. We have written to you. The school board acknowledges that this is the only issue for which they got the maximum number of emails, but that's not going to end there. We're going to keep on putting that effort, and we'll use all our means to make sure that we do this right, the right way. And for that, we all are here together. Okay, thank you.
Hello, my name is Spencer Miller. I am a TJ Junior class of 2022. And let's be clear. Thank you. Let's be clear. The lottery is just about the worst approach this county could possibly take. It's just terrible on a moral and a physical level. However, the holistic approach isn't that great either, and I'm going to make my case why. Just passion is not enough. Like, how many people, if you ask them, would want to have $1 billion and would want to have a private jet and have a 23-year-old supermodel wife? I mean, like, a lot of people have that dream. How many people want to be in the NBA? The NBA? There's just so many people. But how many people actually make it? Right? That difference is caused by merit, which is made up of two components: talent and hard work. And that's what TJ really needs to adhere to. That's what TJ actually needs. And like the county's argument is TJ doesn't provide merit. You know, one test isn't good enough to judge a student's capability. Well, in the holistic approach system, it's now one question. One question on the essay portion actually addresses a student's ability to do science and math problems and their ability to think, as opposed to a test. I mean, that's crazy. It's just such a bad job of deciding which students are actually good. And then, like, also, like, the holistic system where they're getting an essay from everyone. How many people are going to apply? Like, exactly. And, past years we've had 2,500, 3,000 kids attend, but once you removed a bunch of the barriers for admission, and once you basically make it a lot easier to apply, how many more people are going to apply? What are they going to do when they have to review 4,000 essay portions? Like, they're probably going to release the results for getting into TJ in May or June, and people are going to be pissed. People are just not going to know what they're going to do, and they're going to be facing deadlines for stuff like private school, and it's like, oh my gosh. It's just not going to work. And then, think about it. Why did they switch over to a primarily essay system? Or why are they proposing a primarily essay system for testing? And that's just because Asian people as a whole who come to America don't have as good English. Like, this is anecdotal. A lot of the people I know from Cooper Middle School The thing they get destroyed on is English, because English is a second language. It's just more difficult, right? And so they're like, okay, let's just bias our tests and test people on the things we know they're not going to be good at. That's their attempt to increase white students and to push down the Asian population, because they don't like Asian people. And why remove teacher recommendations? That's just, like, teacher recommendations are important because they judge a student, because they get an outside perspective saying, this is the type of student that I have in my classroom, and this is why they would be good or not good to go to TJ, right? Like, do parents say, hey, teacher, like my child? No, they don't, because the student is the one who creates the relationship with the teacher. And they argue, well, teachers have a higher rate of rejecting Black and Hispanic students giving a recommendation. But why do we have vaccines? I mean, very, very few people, but still people, get allergic reactions when being vaccinated. But we still have vaccines because they're just so much more good than bad. See, in this way, there's just not opportunity to actually judge a student for who they are. And like the portrait of a graduate sheet, I mean, ethical and global citizen. How is an 8th grader going to be like, oh yeah, I'm like, how are they gonna? 8th graders don't have it figured out. 8th graders aren't ethical and global citizens. It's ridiculous. Like that gives a massive advantage to parents with money to say, oh yeah, I went to Nigeria for a summer and helped African children. That's great and all, but how many people actually have money to do that? It's just, they're just taking the emphasis away from the students and they're putting it on where they grew up and their color, not on actual merit. Unacceptable. Thank you.
Thank you. My name's Alex. In the entering class this year, there are 16 Hispanic students and under 10 Black students, which is scandalous. Now, Superintendent Brabrand and the Fairfax County School Board looking for reasons for this. So they blame the test, which in the past they've certified as being race blind and totally based on merit. They blame the preparation kids have had without having any evidence other than a few anonymous anecdotes to that. What they don't do is look in the mirror. What is Fairfax County Public Schools doing to promote STEM education in elementary school? Very little. There's no coding classes. That doesn't come till middle school, if then. There's no robotics classes. That doesn't come till high school until then. So I think the main thing is Fairfax County School Board, Superintendent Brabrand should look in the mirror and they'll see who is responsible for the shortfall in STEM education, STEM preparation among minority students. If what's offered in elementary school is pay-to-play after-school activities. It's not provided by the school. There are plenty of free preparation, STEM preparation courses such as code.org, which offers to train teachers for free, provide all the materials for free. Fairfax County doesn't take advantage of that. So the main thing is, instead of trying to develop a STEM workforce for the future, and the Fairfax County Development Authority says 1 in 4 jobs in Fairfax County relates to STEM. So instead of providing a basis for our student body to take advantage of this and seize the industries of the future, what the Fairfax County School Board wants to do is say, well, we're going to solve the problem of diversity in STEM by admitting a handful of more Black and Hispanic students without addressing the fact that over 50,000 Hispanic students in the system and probably over 30,000 Black students in the system are not getting the proper preparation that the school system should provide. Thank you.
Hi everyone, good afternoon. So I'm a father of a TJ 9th grader, and me along with a group of 4 or 5 other parents, we started fact-checking data that FCPS has been throwing out. and a lot of this data has been used by the board to make decisions on a regular basis. Okay, yeah, thank you. So I am for more blacks, more Hispanics in TJ, but I don't think the path that the board is taking is the right path here. So what it looks like is they're clearly ignoring data and they're making decisions based on rumors. And that is a very bad trend to set. So take some examples, right? So they've been saying they're working on plans for 10 years now. And 10 years is a long time, right? So, and they have presented 2 proposals to us. So when you look at those proposals, I don't see 10 years worth of research in any of those proposals. Maybe 10 days, maybe maybe a few weeks here and there, but I don't see 10 years worth of research there. So our taxpayers' money at work. I don't know what's happening to it, right? So if you run the numbers, just basic numbers, you would notice that 7,500 students who would qualify for this lottery as they apply for the lottery. So if you see that, and I don't understand how will FCPS evaluate 7,500 students in a race-blind, holistic approach, going through each and every essay and making sure, the approach is race-blind. I have no clue of that. They have not presented anything in their plan. So that's one problem. 10 years worth of planning, I don't see that anywhere. Then, so FCPS is predicting about 54% Asians and about 25% whites. That's based on their numbers that they have provided to the board to make this decision. And that's based on 3.5 GPA and Algebra 1 criteria for 8th graders. And if you run the numbers, just based on publicly available data, and we did follow some data which we received last week, and the numbers that we are seeing is about 30% Asians and 48% whites. So that is exactly almost opposite of what they're saying. So there's something wrong in their analysis. So we need more data, we need better analysis. That's not the way to make decisions, especially for a school of science and technology like TJ, right? So, in a lottery, our numbers are telling us that everyone's going to lose. If you just look at Fairfax County, there are about 350 students in Fairfax County who get selected every year in TJ. And out of that, if you run a lottery, it's about a 6.66% lottery. So about 239 Asians who would have got selected will not get selected. About 13 blacks and Hispanics who would have got selected will not get selected. And about 59 white kids who would have got selected otherwise would not get selected. So they're going to leave out a lot of these kids, who deserve to be here in TJ in this process. So definitely not a problem. Definitely not the right kind of solution that they have. So my problem is, once TJ is gone, who will create the solutions for climate change problems? Who will solve the mysteries of dark matter and dark energy for us, right? And who will create the next vaccine for the next pandemic, right? So I think death of TJ is death of science, and I'm really, really sad for this particular. Okay, thank you.
Thank you all for coming here, first of all. My child is right now in 7th grade, actually, so we're a little bit further, back. But I wanted to say something about myself, give a little bit of background, I guess, like Asra, right? Come from a really poor background, as many of you do, and most people with a fire in their bellies typically come with a poor background because they want to succeed, they want to do something, right? First of all, I don't think there is anyone that is not for diversity, right? Long-term viability of an institution, of an organization, relies on diversity. People of diverse backgrounds and diverse thoughts make things better, right? Nobody is not for diversity on this side of the fence or the other side of the fence. So let's be clear. So that's my number one principle here, is that everybody's for diversity, right? How to get there is the big question, right? Second principle, I've heard a lot of people, a lot of the town hall participants say that I was the only this looking child or that looking child. And that caused a lot of mental health issues for me. I went through a lot of trauma, right? The second thing that I want to say here is that mental health issues is not uncommon to TJ. Mental health issues have been pervasive through the FCPS system. And it's FCPS's responsibility actually to solve the mental health issues for everyone, not just TJ. TJ is not a poster child to come up with solutions and try. So that being said, a couple things that I wanted to suggest, right? I think everybody said it, so I'm not going to belabor this anymore. Lottery clearly is not a solution. It was a lazy ass solution that somebody came up with and said, but lazy solution, how about that? Okay? Lazy solution that somebody came up with and said, let's try. And those are the words that we heard. Let's see what happens. That's the admissions director said in the last town hall meeting. Let's see what happens, right? Life's not a lotto, and neither are the children's lives a lottery. So let's not play lotto with the lives of our children. When asked to produce the data, the GPA data, the superintendent and the team were unable to produce that data. We were told that they arrived at data that is related to GPA for every child. How they do that is non-transparent, non-standardized, and non-communicated to the children or the parents, right? One big issue I have is please don't reinvent the wheel, because there are multiple schools that have already gone through this process and have solved this problem with proven solutions. Let's put proven solutions in place, not unproven solutions. You know, I heard Dr. Graban say that it's a very difficult problem to solve. Just admitting that it's a difficult problem to solve is not enough. Engaging the community would have been the most appropriate way to do this so that we can put more minds to solve this issue. And if you're unable to do so, then at least the community has to know why. And simply, my feeling is, if you are incapable of doing so, I would request that you resign.
Absolutely.
And let somebody more capable solve this problem with the input of the community, for it to be equitable for everyone in the community, not just one side or the other. The other part that I wanted to cover here is that, you know, I've seen school board member Keith Gamara, as well as school board member Ricardi Anderson, the chairperson actually, you know, saying that lottery is the solution. Unfortunately, the questions that were asked really portrayed very clearly that lottery was not based on sound data. And like some of you have already said, even the proposals that have come up after the lottery have not been also based on sound data and analysis. Now, I do appreciate Keith Gamara, school board member Keith Gamara, as well as school board member Anderson, going to middle schools and talking about the diversity issues. I think that's really important that they do that, and I appreciate them doing that. But putting together a lazy solution in place which has not been proven is not the solution. So please, please, please don't play lottery with our children's lives. And please talk to the community, because we as multiple minds have solved the world's problems, right? We all have solved many, many problems for the companies that we work for, the employers that we work for. We're happy to solve problems if you come to us. Please talk to us. Thank you.
Hello, TJ. All right, I'm a parent of TJ Jr. and another younger child in the pipeline in the lower grades. And I have to say that I am extremely outraged at the way that the school board and the superintendent characterized our community here in Fairfax, which is a large segment of the Fairfax population, as well as the regional population. I am outraged at the insinuation that studying hard and encouraging our kids to empower themselves, to work hard and achieve the American dream was somehow cheating.
I am outraged that having a dream to learn as much as possible while you're growing up is somehow an unfair exercise of privilege. I am outraged that the message to the children of Fairfax from the head of the school system is that actually you should not try and achieve as much academic success as you possibly can, but you should see yourself somehow as unfairly taking away advantages from other people if you learn as much as you can from what your teachers are teaching you. I think that the school board and the superintendent need to go back to the drawing board. They need to actually talk to the people whom they are so gratuitously insulting. They need to actually have community meetings to actually listen to the true citizens of Fairfax and not react to outside ideological political forces that are disempowering the minorities in their own communities. They need to get their knees off the necks of the George Floyds of this world, but also get the knees off the heads and the brains of the Asian community in Fairfax.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Vincent Haratingal. So, you already heard one thing very clear about this guy. He doesn't know how to solve problems, and he is not very smart. So, I have heard from his own mouth that he is not very good with numbers. I've heard from his own mouth. I ran for school board last year, so we have been attending many meetings that he was talking. So I have heard from his own mouth that he is not very good with numbers. Another thing I have heard from him, which made me really believe that this man is truly a racist. This has been going on for some time in his mind. He looked at the Asian American community's success here, and he couldn't find an answer why these kids are doing great. He was not clear. He thought we are giving drugs to all children. He thought, we are forcing all children to become STEM graduates. And he went to Korea to see what's going on there. And then he came back with the assumption that these Asian people have no lives. He has no clue in these intelligent minds that goes into these institutions. The passion that they have for science and technology, he doesn't understand that. And I know this for a fact, because I heard from his own mouth. He came back from Korea saying that, oh my gosh, we can't have that kind of a life in Fairfax County. Asians have no life. I am telling you, we as a society is so much dependent on foreign talent for science and technology. We have to bring in thousands of engineers every year from India and China. It's only because we are not training enough of science technology graduates in this country. And how in the world somebody go and damage an institution that is doing whatever that can to make sure we are producing quality science and technology graduates. So this is a no-brainer. This institution has to remain the way it is. Science and technology is important for America. We have to be number one. And that's why we came here. The Asian community who came here, we didn't come here with a privilege. We came here because America attracted us. It's giving us these opportunities to be who we can be. And now all of a sudden we become successful and they come and say, you're privileged. So I am calling for everyone's continued participation for this struggle. It's not going to end today. Until and unless we have them completely drop their plan, we will not stop this struggle. See, I am a science and technology person. I am an engineer, came from India, just like all of you, many of you, to do my master's here. But a couple of years ago, I decided to become a politician. I never came to America to become a politician. I decided to do that because I knew if you don't get involved with what's going on here, this is what you're going to face. So I am urging all my TJ community, the Asian American community present here, to become publicly active and see what's going on. Your votes matter. Your votes are not going to be based on a single ballot anymore. Your votes are going to be based on the candidates and their positions. Are they supporting your cause? If they are not, you're going to switch your votes. That's the only say we have in democratic societies. So I urge all of you to stay committed, to continue the struggle and fight like there is no tomorrow. That's the only way we can stop them from doing this. This is what we want. We want Devan to go. Thank you. Thank you, everybody.
Hello, TJ community. How are you? You know, the primary job of a school board and a school board superintendent is to make the school system the best that it can be. That is what their job is. Do you think this school board is doing that right now? No! No, I don't think so either. Well, you know what? It's almost the Halloween season. You know, it's getting close to Halloween, so it seems to me that we should have a little bit of a horror story. The horror story is the story of our school board in the last couple of months. We have a school board that has millions and millions of dollars spent on IT, right? And yet we've had disaster with spring distance learning. We've had ransomware. What is wrong with this school board? Everything. We have a situation where the school board is spending hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars renaming schools, and yet the kids can't even go to the schools because they can't get the schools back open. You know, what is wrong with this school board? We have a school board where Scott Brabrand, before the school board meeting, speaks about how terrible standardized tests are and how horrible it is and how they don't judge merit. And yet not 5 minutes later, in the same speech before the school board, he bragged about how many national merit semifinalists Fairfax County had. It seems to me that standardized tests and national merit scholars are good when it comes to Scott Brabrand and the school board arguing for raises and being reelected, but it's not good enough to get people into TJ. Again, what is wrong with this school board? And worst of all, we have a school board who has taken a solemn vow to dedicate themselves to producing the best education for our kids. And we have this school board taking shots at the #1 high school in the United States, talking about going to a lottery system to selecting its students. I am willing to bet that this is the worst school board in Fairfax County history. It's the worst. Never in Fairfax County school board history has so much damage been done to so many students and so many people by so few. We need a new school board. We need a new superintendent. I want everybody to make sure that they get out and vote, keep organizing, let your voices be heard. We're not going to take this lying down. Everybody organize, let your voices be heard.
Last speaker.
Hello everyone. Let me give you my background. I come from a very poor background, poor and middle class background, as the other persons have said. And I understand. I want to tell you, everyone has spoken here great. I mean, there is something that I want to speak about Scott Brabrand and what's going on from his bureaucratic mind. There are 5 types of biases that he is trying to create here. First one is similarity bias. So, since some similar communities are affected, he wants to bring that up as a part of the overall percentage, and that's a similarity bias that he is trying to execute as a part of the superintendent process. Second part of the bias is expedience. He wants, not based on facts, not based on data, just he wants to expedite the process of eliminating the test, standardized test, which is proven and it's technical, it's proven, and it's unbiased. So he wants to create the experience bias as a part of that. The third part is experience. Someone already has gone through the experience of making decisions for others, and that's another experience bias that he is inculcating within himself and just projecting that. The fourth part is the distance. So what is distance bias? Everyone right now is remote. So this is the perfect opportunity for him to take decisions without consulting any community aspects of it and making the distance bias, because everyone is distant, so who cares? So he doesn't care. That's the distance bias that is coming into picture. Last part is very critical, safety bias. So that is the most critical bias, and he wants to be safe within his own community. That is the most unfathomable bias that he is right now trying to execute as a part of this entire channelizing the process, expediting the process of putting that and making lottery, which is ridiculously, it's the cause and effect of what bias does. So it's a part of the desired biases that he is inculcating in his mind, and that's what he is projecting as a part of it. So he should resign, first of all, because anything that is coming out of bias mindset will definitely is bound for failure. There's nothing else. It's just going to fail. So from everyone else, I want everyone to fight this out and remove this bias from its roots and have a standardized procedure as a part of the path that should follow forward. Thank you so much.
Does everyone feel fired up?
Yeah!
Do you feel stronger?
Yeah!
Do you love everyone around you?
Yeah!
I love all of you. Somebody said to me that this isn't just about our intellect, this is about our heart. How many of you have your heart in this? All of you, right? Your heart is in this. This is not just an issue about a test or about a school with walls. This is about our belief system, right? Yeah. And so we are together. We come out each time for these protests, this vigil today, because of our intention, right? Our intention is a pure and good one. And every step of the way, we have followed the best of virtues and the best of governance and the best of leadership. And so I want to ask you, are you still in the fight?
Yes!
Are you going to keep fighting?
Yes!
Are we going to sign the petition to fire Scott Brabrand?
Yes!
We're going to put that petition up? Are you going to put these bumper stickers on your cars?
Yes!
If you don't want to put it on your bumper, put some Scotch tape on the back and tape it to your back window, okay? All right, good. We got the trick for you. Are you going to sign letters to your school board members?
Yes!
Do we want to see the school board go?
Yes!
Are we fed up?
Yes!
Do we want to get back to the business of just having kids be kids?
Yes!
We want the school board and the superintendent to govern. Are we angry now with the school principal?
Yes!
Do we want respect for our community?
Yes!
Let us stand as we always do, with commitment, with grace. We have such grace and heart, and we will continue to fight, and we are going to win for the future of not just our children and our families, but for America and our world. So thank you all so much. We're going to do one big group picture because we want everyone to know how powerful and strong we are. So let's all stand here together. Let's come together.
Go Azra!
Let's cheer. Let's cheer each other on.